welcome to Memoirs of Successful Women. Today, my guest is Mariana Cadore, who is a lifestyle fitness coach. She's an author, she's a speaker. She's got a book coming out on the 9th of July, which is very exciting. So we're going to be talking all things diet and exercise and healthy living. We're going to be talking about her book and her whole journey to being an expert in this space. Mariana started her career as a national team rower and then became a health coach, which is not surprising. She then went on to develop her own methodology, and it's called the Reset Method, which is now being used by thousands of people in many, many countries. And her upcoming book is called F the Diet, How to Get Off the Weight Loss Roller Coaster and Lose 1 kilo per week. So if you are struggling with weight loss, you're tired of unsustained diets and extreme exercise and those people who tell you to do crazy things to lose weight, then this book will be for you, and definitely our conversation will interest you today. So welcome to the program, Mariana.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here with someone so inspiring like you, Annie.
Thank you so much. It's just a joy to meet up with you. And I know we've already had a conversation before, and you're from Brazil, but you've got an Italian name. You're living in a church now. You've just got such an interesting combination of things happening, and you're also here today to talk all about your book coming out, and also just health and wellness, right? Let's just go back to basics. So I love the name of your book, F the Diet, because I actually am one of those people who I'm actually never on a diet. Like, I just want to eat healthy. I just want to actually enjoy food. So I'm looking forward to your thoughts on food and our behaviors around food, and why you've called the book that. So let's just start then with the book. Let's start with the book. Why did you write a book called F the Diet? What led you to do that in your work as a health coach?
First of all, I've been working for 19 years as a health coach and personal trainer. At this level, what I start to understand people, what they want and what they need. And I start to see a discrepancy, a difference in between what they really want and what they need. And I saw many people with health issues, problems that will give in a heart attack, that will give diabetes, everything in between the edge of the line, but they wouldn't do anything to prevent. And so I start to see that we have an issue here. I know you being a nurse. At this point, people are fed what they need. They do what they need. Otherwise, they are really, they hear the doctor, they hear the nurse. But my thing is, people don't hear when they are healthy, when they are enjoying life, when everything is going well. Everything they want is like, I want to have a nice body, to look good. And everything I'm seeing is, I do want you to have the body of your dreams, but I also want you to have energy. But I also want you to get out of the line in between diabetes and you, because the life with diabetes is very challenging. The life, if you can prevent cancer, can you do it? You got to start today. Otherwise, we need to try to heal this. So that was the main issue I started to see in these 19 years. People was not paying attention to prevention. And everything can be achieved together. You can lose the weight, and in the process of getting really healthy. Because after all, a lot is inflammation in the body. A lot is the body that is not fully happy, and it starts to storage fat. The body is a very primitive thing. It's fantastic. It's the most amazing thing I ever saw in my life. If I tell you half of what the body does while we are talking, everybody would be amazed by the body. The body is not there just for us to work or go out with the friends. The body is rebuilding all the tissue that is damaged now, is filtering the blood, is taking toxins away, is doing thousands of things at the same time, creating new cells that no human being can create with the best technology, with the maximum amount of money in the world. We cannot create cells functional like we have. So the body is doing all of this. And I start to think like people are not appreciating what the body is doing for them until they lose this. And I just have this thought because I lost at certain point in my life all my health. So that was my main drive to write this book is I want people really happy. I want people having the joy and the body they want, but I want people out of pain. That's what I really, really want, out of pain.
Thank you for sharing that. So at the core of this was your own journey through pain. I know you had fibromyalgia, didn't you? Yes.
Correct.
So what happened to your body? You're an athlete, right? You've been a high-level athlete in rowing, and so fitness and this whole concept of my body is my temple. I eat food is fuel. I have a healthy attitude to food, which many of us don't have, and we can talk about that soon. And then you were struck down with this quite debilitating illness. Tell us about that journey and how that changed your attitude to food and how it repaired itself.
So it's like you said, I had an attitude towards food that diet was no problem in the mind of an athlete. You eat whatever they say to you to eat. If it's 3 peas, you eat the 3 peas and that's it. It's your fuel. Normal human beings don't do this. We like our food and we like to enjoy. I love my food, by the way. So I used to do everything by the book, but my body stopped it before the Olympic Games. So all my life was through being an athlete for rowing. I stand in everything. The way I know myself at this point was I'm a rower. And I am rowing. I am this athlete. So life took away this from me. It kind of took my floor. And now who is Mariana? Who am I? I had no idea what I was without rowing. I had absolutely no idea how to deal with life because I had one only thing in my life, and that was rowing. Athletes in this level is just one thing, really. And that there is nothing else. So I had to fight. I went to 20 doctors because I didn't believe I wouldn't have healing. So I keep passing one doctor after the other until the point that, I'm losing my hope after 20 doctors. I got to find myself a way to get out of this. It doesn't mean that, and it doesn't mean that this was in the first day. I lost my hope until I decided I gotta find my way to heal this. So once I lost all my hope, I had the strength to stand up, and I'm gonna read all the self books as possible. I'm gonna read all the alternative medicine as possible. I'm gonna interview or I'm gonna ask help for as many people as I can. And in the process, I start to discover, for example, Vipassana meditation. I actually did a lot in Australia. I start to discover alternative medicine, Chinese medicine, everything in between, how to transform your emotions, how to master yourself. And I start to put in place one by one. It took me 11 years. It took me 11 years, but I healed from a disease that doctors say there is no healing. And what I discover is suffering, pure suffering, when you lose the hope, when, you complain so much that people don't want to be around you, you stop complaining about pain. When you don't want to be a weight to anybody, so you deal yourself with your problems. You are lonely. I passed through all of those things, But this led me to understand human beings. And after this, I couldn't deal with a person that come to do to change their body or change the mindset with me. I cannot see as a formula. This is a human being with a background. What is going on? Can I understand this person really deeply? Can I connect in a soul level so I stream the knowledge inside this body towards me? And so the person doesn't need to share much and I can get this knowledge throughout them. And that's really how I do my work. And with that intention, I start to think, I could heal of something that everybody say there is no healing. How much more there is in this world to be healed? You know, heartbreak to be healed, self-love to be healed, and confidence to be healed, sexual abuse, trauma to be healed. How much more there is to be healed, and people are not finding the healing. So that's my full intention is, can I help people to achieve what they can and they don't even know? And we need to build a foundation. And the foundation is exactly what I put in the book is let's reset this person, because it is accumulation of, let's say, bad habits. It's not people are not aging, it's bad habit, and can be through emotions, can be through wrong movements because you twist an ankle, so you start to step in this ankle. All of this is what we call aging. It's not quite aging, it's how much things are we accumulating and not letting go and starting anew. Because right now in neuroscience we know the body keep adapting at any age. The body is just fabulous, and sometimes even better later on in life. So my intention is like, let's pray this reset and live new in a new canvas. So it's really this. If I could heal, and I will say that I had the help of many people that wrote the books, people that gave a smile to me, people that say they believe in me, people, anything in between help me to drive this. But can we give even more the hand for this person to heal? Can we show that it's possible? Can we share testimonial? That's really my intention this life, and now is to expand and be able to do this in mass. People can heal in mass. The foundations are equal. It's almost all the things come from one base, and if we clean this base, we are in a good path, and then we can start to personalize this or that. But that's the main. The body is wonderful. Nobody will ever figure out exactly everything. But if we hear the knowledge of the body, or whatever you want to call, we have a pathway there.
I love how holistic you have become, because I know after interviewing other elite athletes, often it's so single focused. All I have to do is be the best rower or an Olympian or, whatever, which is all great. And you definitely need the nutritionist, because you're going to have a certain body type, a certain calorie level, you're going for strength or endurance. There's such a science to it. And with that, you do absolutely everything to get there, but you're also at risk of stripping your body of certain things, or it's definitely not balanced for other things that you're doing. And whether that was the trigger for your illness, I don't know, but it's certainly a wonderful stage to actually get there and say, you know what, it's all about being holistic with your health, and it's also about early intervention, or not even intervening. It's actually hopefully not even needing that. If we had great attitudes to health, right from the beginning, you wouldn't even have to be getting in a situation that you go, oh, I can see something creeping up, I need to intervene. You could actually just live your life being a healthy individual holistically, right? So why do we, I know as a nurse, you know, I've over the years, when I was nursing, there's so many people who suddenly have a heart attack and then their whole life has to change, which is true and good, but you don't want to wait till you hopefully survive a heart attack or, you know, a stroke or diabetes, you know, suddenly get told you've got clogged arteries or whatever your situation is. Why do you think we still, with all of the information we have about health, right, and diet, so exercise and diet, I'm all about the balance. Why do you think we still believe, oh, well, that will never happen to me, or I'll be fine, even though I've just sort of, I'm aware in my mind that I'm putting on the kilos, or I'm not exercising, or I'm not giving my body nutrition, but I don't think anything bad will actually happen to me.
Yeah, that's a fantastic thing to say. I think we know everything. The problem is we don't want to listen because we want to be happy, because we want pleasure, we want to avoid pain. So many times when we don't have awareness of our body, of our thoughts, of how to deal with emotions, and a better way to deal with whatever we are going through. For example, if we have emotional eating, of course there is something underneath. And how can I address without just buffering with food that make me feel so full and change the physicality that I don't feel the pain I was feeling or the anxiety I was feeling? So I eat to don't have these feelings that I don't like. So there is other tools for us to deal with things. The problem is so many times we don't know. We're not aware of what is the problem and what are the health tools we can use to address this. So we start to look for these things just when we lose them. We look like the heart attack you just said. We now is more than proving, especially HeartMath Institute, which I partner with them to give donations from my book to them because they just do a fantastic work in studying things that don't give money for pharmaceutical industry. So they put the science in the forehand on something that no other place would study. And they prove that the heart sends at least 100 times more information to the brain than the brain to the heart. So, and the magnetic field is 6,000 more bigger than the brain magnetic field. So it's just unbelievable how much importance there is the heart, and is a system in itself, and there is neurons on the heart. So every emotion we are feeling, the heart is dealing. We know very well when we have a broken heart, when someone betrays us, when we have a broken heart, we feel here. We don't feel in my mind. We feel like, oh, have you done this with me? So it's the heart is receiving these emotions. And so many times when we are working or when we want to do what we want to do it, we don't want to hear the heart. I want to do because I want to do it. I want to eat this donut because it's delicious. It's basically the feeling I'm going to be happy if I eat this donut. I'm going to be happy if I eat this food because food means love to me. In my family, when we gather together, is around food. So when I look for love, I look for food because that's the relationship in my brain. So those kind of things, if we don't stop and take a distance to be able to see it, we cannot see it. And this distance is called awareness. And that's what this is in my body. Bring it to me. I had no way to heal myself unless I start to strip it, everything that was going in my life, present, past, what was stuck, which emotions was stuck. I had to clean it up, this house. and I start to understand every single bit of my life. Of course, I didn't understood everything. I still am in the process, in the journey of understanding, but was enough for my body to don't feel threatened enough and be able to have the resources of self-healing, because my body was trying to heal every single day, every single minute, and yours is healing right now, and everybody, the body is trying to heal everything every single minute. It depends on the resource that is available. So I think people should be able to see it. And sometimes I shake people and I tell, like, you are not eating properly. Do you remember your mother have diabetes? Other people in your family have. Do you want to have the same? No. Shall we change? The changes are simple. And I don't want to tell to anybody things like diet, because it's for me is brutal. The word diet for me is brutal. it's brutal as the F I put in the cover of the book, because if you read, some people think about the F. I say about forget the diet. So diet is some restriction, and we are chasing towards pleasure and happiness. How, if you take it away something from me, I'm going to be able to correlate with happiness? There's no way.
There's no way. I know. I often think that as soon as someone says it's a diet, suddenly it's like, yeah, you're restricted, or it's going to be painful. It's something they're just committing to. And it always just feels like it has to be short term, right? Because who wants to be on a diet forever? You actually want a way of, not sacrificing, or, actually just learning to enjoy food or eat the right kind of foods, because otherwise it's like punishment. And I feel like those people I've watched who do that yo-yo dieting, I think there's a couple of things happening there. One, they're just looking for the short term, or they're on a diet. They get sick of always restricting themselves, so it's just too hard, if you like, and so therefore not sustainable. So they'll then go off it for a while, then they'll realize, oh yes, I need to lose some more weight, and then you have that sort of yo-yo situation. And I also think in the yo-yo dieting too, it's because it's a bit like, I imagine, a pendulum, like you feel some sense of discomfort, right? So whether someone called you fat, or whether you want to wear a new dress for a birthday party, or whatever little factor happened, you'll feel uncomfortable enough to choose to go on a diet, or, do something about those extra kilos that you're carrying. And then as soon as you have a little bit of progress, even if, say, the goal was 10 kilos and you've lost 2 or 3, then you go, oh, well, that's pretty good, because I feel better than I did before. And so instead of doing the hard bit, you sort of just go, well, I've done a bit better, and then you go off it again. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, whereas someone who's had the heart attack had an extreme swing, so that then results in them having a extreme reaction on the other side. So is it like you've got to have such a shock to then have a response? Ideally, no. But how do we then change that sort of behavior, that natural desire of people to go, you know what, I don't want to do the hard work. How do we actually set up good principles? How do we encourage our children to just have healthy foods and diets, so that they don't have to be on a restrictive diet when they're adults?
Yes, so good. Everything you said. First of all, people go to diets to a pain that is happening right now.
Yeah.
It is not it is, I'm feeling a pain. I feel ashamed by my body. I don't like what I see it. I don't even like myself. And that's the first thing I want to address. You are beautiful the way you are right now, and you are perfect, independent of your weight. And you are worth the same thing today than if you lose 10 kilos, 20 pounds, whatever. You are worth. You are absolutely worth and perfect. Now, the body will work better if there is a weight that it is help this body to function better. It's been proven that more weight leads to more cancer, heart attack, and many other diseases, up to 400 other diseases, a body that holds more weight. So you gotta get rid of this. You feel good, you feel more free. And I'm not talking about image. We all think about the short term, the image. I feel sexy when I look in the mirror, but I would say like you feel freedom when you start to have a body that functions better. And this always starts with one action. Once you start to take the right action, you already start to feel better. But as in business, Annie, if I decided like today I'm gonna have $1 million business, but I decided to do things very extreme. I'm gonna post 10 times per day, and I on the side I'm gonna do all my emails, and I'm gonna do this and that and that. Well, the agenda is so extreme that you cannot keep going like this. You're gonna burn out, and that will be very quickly, and then you fail. And then to have the courage to do it again is really, really hard. And let's say that you stay a few days without sleeping and all of this to bring this amazing business. But the body starts to dysregulate. So you start to be less productive. You start to don't be that sharp. So it's the same thing with diet. Because then when you restrict your calories intake, you dysregulate key hormones. And now you can dysregulate your body up to 6 years with one diet. Now, when you try, of course, when you finish, the body is in such a mess that will obligate you to eat more. It will not produce the hormone that tells you to stop, satiety, that you feel, I'm okay, I don't need anymore. Now you have a dysregulated body. You not just feel like a failure yourself, which you are not. The system fail on you, like the system fail on my healing. So you are not a failure, but you start to be in an impossible mission to eat less because you feel a hunger that you never felt before. So unless we regulate the system, we start regulating the hunger system, regulating the vagus nerve, for example, regulating the hormonal part, being able to be present, taste the food. So you feel like, wow, this food feels phenomenal. And I feel energized after. People don't have this afterthought after 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. How do I feel after 12 hours? They feel guilty. They know they feel guilty, but the pleasure is that they go again. So once these things start to happen, you start to make really good choices for you, and you like the food because it gives you energy from the morning to the night. You wake up fresh. So you start to have these really good choices. And this is a long-term strategy. Like in business, you would do a long-term strategy. You don't get to $1 million business from scratch in a month, 2 months, 3 months, like you would like. I'm sure everybody would like this, and they come for you trying like, I want $1 million business, or I want $100 million business, and I want this fast. Okay, there is a strategy, there is a way to do this, and we gotta implement each bit by bit to achieve that. And there is key points that has to be there, and some others that if you fail, we're still okay. So that's the same to be held. You can, you don't need to be perfect. By the way, I don't want to eat perfect, and I still want to eat when I go in gatherings, and I still want to eat if I want whatever I served. I still want. Well, I have to say that I choose not to drink alcohol, and there is another choices that I do for my life. But I don't expect that people to do this, and especially to don't do this straight away. They have to feel it. And then we get to the point that you call out about the kids, because unless we start with the parents, as I've been saying for the parents, we don't get to the kids. The kids are a reflection to what we eat. And so many times we give them because they will be so happy if they eat that cake.
Yes.
Yeah, so we want them happy, and so we give whatever they ask for, and like, oh, she's so happy. Look how cute she look when she eats. Well, we want them happy, But if again we think about long term and kids adapt to a new nutrition, and we can do this more enjoyable. We can cut the fruits. Everybody will eat fruits if they are cut in front of you. But if you
Mhm.
have to wash and things, yeah. So all of those things, if become widely available, people will eat. They will choose that, and we can play with tastes, spices, and the playfulness of food for kids to like what you think is good for them. So it takes a little bit of thinking and strategy, but love is about this, isn't it? Demand a little bit of time. Nothing is convenient, but every time we think about something and choose something in a long term, we don't have too much work. It's
Yeah.
a little bit more hard decisions, easy life, but
Mm.
easy decisions now really hard life, every day hard. So it is this: how much can we play? Don't listen too much about marketing because they're really good in what they do. They study every single thing, how to trick you to think whatever processed food is really, really healthy, much better than a natural food. It's not. It's not. And even though the milks, I heard people saying like, but they are just drinking the mom's milk, not everything. And I'm like, how do you think how the animals grow up? It's just with the milk that is provided for them through nature. How do you think we came so far in evolution? Is not with this milk that was created and help save lives nowadays for the ones that don't have milk, but they are not a need. How do we came so far in evolution without those things? Well, it means that the body doesn't need, but we can use every now and then for some reason, but should never be the main thing, because think about evolution. We've been so far with what we have, and it's not this processed food that we are having obesity more than ever in history. We have more diets than ever in history. We have more obesity than ever. We have more programs and everything. We have to stop and think, to do something different to get different results. That's the main point. We cannot keep doing the same thing and expect different results.
Exactly, exactly. So well said. And I think if it's just, I've sort of go back to the simple principles, I suppose, that, I was raised with. My grandmothers used to talk about that. If it's not over processed, it's not in a packet, or it's not in plastic, it's probably good for you, right? So it's those basic principles of, fruits and vegetables with a little bit of extra, proteins or meats or bits and pieces, but it should be what's the core. And I love the parallels that you had with business, because I'm a business coach, as you know, and that those same sorts of principles, it's a lot of habit forming, isn't it? It's just basic habits, and if we do certain things that are sustainable, they will work. And even every now and then, if you miss one or two of them, it doesn't matter. You can have a cheat day, you can have a day off, whatever. The world doesn't fall down, because your core is right. And that's where it is. It's about, there is a bit of flexibility. It's not all rigid, it's not all hard. It's the basic principles. What do you do most of the time is what matters, right? That's what the results will show. It's the, your tomorrow is your sum of today. So what are you doing every single day with your diet, with your lifestyle, with your business, with your exercise, with all aspects? So it's habit forming. I also love what you shared too about, just even healthy foods. A lot of it's because it's just not readily available, but it doesn't take too much to prepare. I know now I've got two little granddaughters, and when one of them, she's 4.5, and she comes over, and so it's, I put the apple through a little apple core thing, and it just makes it all fun, and she just loves it because it suddenly looks like a little slinky. Or just even cutting up carrot sticks and dipping them in hummus and bits and pieces. It's like it takes like 30 seconds just to flick some skin off or do something, but it suddenly is like, yes, but she's not going to go to the fridge and try and eat a whole carrot or something like that when lollies are just like readily available. So you suddenly go to a cupboard and there's like marshmallows or lollies, and they're there instantly. So I suppose it's actually just going back to the basics of preparation. You know, what sort of preparation do you put in? And it doesn't have to be a lot, but you're then not only going to get the convenience, but you're going to get the energy. And I'm a big fan of energy. I'm pretty known for being high energy, but also because I don't also, everyone wants to look nice. Like, there's no doubting that. And so, yes, that's a factor. But I agree that you want to, you know, I want that to be sustained all day. I want to get the most out of my day. I want to feel good as well as look good. I want that energy to sort of, be maintained. And that's going to come from the fuel that you're actually eating. I love sometimes when people, you know, those car lovers, you know, and they'll put the best, highest quality petrol in their car, so they'll pay like premium for this special petrol, but then they'll be standing there eating a pie or just putting rubbish into their own self. And I go, wow, you love your car more than yourself. And they'll go, oh no, I don't. And you go, well, the way you treat yourself would imply, you know, here you are pampering your car, polishing your car, spending all your time and your love and your attention. There's nothing wrong with that if it's in balance. But you don't do that to yourself. So that whole principle that you've got around self-love and looking at your, you know, the reasons for that behavior are so important. I also find that it just makes you sleep better and you just got, you know, better stress levels. I think there has to be a lot of science in there. I know I'm a yoga fan as well, but I'm sure it is linked to what you eat actually does affect that just inner level of, you know, stress and overwhelm. It's got to be a factor, I'm sure. But you're the expert.
So stress, to deal with stress is one of the pillars I use in my book, stress release. Unless you release the stress, you're not going to lose weight, because if cortisol levels are high, the body is understanding we are in a war, we are in a fight, there is a danger, there is an animal trying to eat me. So everything I gotta maintain in this body. So let's think about the body primitive survival, because that's what it is. The body is fighting for your survival. It's not fighting for performance. Performance is a plus. The body is always concerned and overactive, trying you to survive today, and thank you, body. So the body have a budget of how much we'll take it, how much we'll release. When we go through stress, like dieting, for example, we can raise the stress of the body, and the body will start to storage a lot more when we eat and level this, because the body is understanding we are in a difficult situation. If we got food, let's keep it. And that's how this regulate things. But let's say that we are having a problem, and now I don't want to put with your boss, because I don't want the boss to be the bad person. You are having a problem with some colleague on your job, or in your company, you are having some issues and you think your profit will not be the same. And you start to stress every day. So then we start to have a body that start to dysregulate completely. Unless we use a tool, I might not be able to change the situation of your life, but I might be able to give you a tool that you can deal differently and react differently. So what you used to call a problem, or there is a challenge in my life. And you could do this simply by a respiration combined with an elevate emotion. I explain that in the book, and I will put this book for free on the 19th of July on Amazon. So you just grab it. If you use this, if you call one emotion like grace, love, compassion, just go through one memory from the past, one emotion, one situation, the hug of your grandkid, anything that you felt love, grace, excitement, compassion, these emotions that make you feel great. Call this emotion, and then you start to breathe in and breathe out with attention and this emotion on your heart. After this, you can deal with life. Spend 5 minutes doing this, you are not losing time because you're going to be more productive. There is intuition after this to solve the challenge you're passing. So there is ways that you can get out of this extreme situation and help yourself so you are not under stress. The challenges are the same in your life, but you're not feeling stressful. And now you find solutions. I can use one time in my life, for example, I heard that my partner was with cancer. So the first thing, I got out of the supermarket, I put in the oven a bag of rice in a plastic, and I turned on the oven. So I burned everything, the plastic. But can you imagine my mind at this moment, how it was? So unless we have some horrible news like this or challenging news like this one, then we just go and breathe a little bit and call these elevate emotions and try to find a little bit of a space there to be able to find some solutions or to cope with that moment. But we need to create this gap in between what is happening and what will be your reaction. It has to be a habit. And you're going to sleep better, you're going to have a better relationship with your kids, your partner, or everything will be better. Job will be more profitable because you're probably going to take better decisions if you know that. You come from a place that, well, of course I would do this. Or of course I'm going to ask my mentor and I'm not going to stress by myself. I'm going to ask help. Someone already solved this problem. So if you create this space, you release the stress and now you are able to lose weight or to actually exercise. You're not going to exercise if you're fully stressed and you don't have the habit of exercising. You're going to think you don't have time and you don't have energy because you actually feel low energy. Emotions is one of the things that is still more your energy than everything else.
True. Yes.
If you are bugger in your mind, you're like, I don't have the energy to exercise. You even feel like this. I don't have. But how do you think you go for a meeting now feeling like this? Do you think people trust you, what you say? Do you think like, yeah, she's the leader, I'm going to follow her? But if you go here, you're full of energy and you're talking like, whoo, she have everything, this Annie. She have everything going for her. I'm going to listen her. So your body is part of everything in your life and is the lenses how you see life. If the body is not working well, let's say you ate something that was off. We all know what's happened next. Do you think you're gonna feel great and think about your dreams, how the things in the future, what you envision for your company? No, you're gonna just deal with survival today. So let's get the body out of survival mode so we can thrive in life. We can look and dream and have something better for us, our legacy, the future of our kids, or whatever the planet, the future of the planet, and everybody that live here or will live. We need to be out of survival. In survival, we don't think in anything in these lines.
Beautiful. I think survival mode means can only be done for a short time because it just gets exhausting. And two, you're more reactive. And I think all of this conversation is actually being about proactive. You know, it's actually saying, what do I do, whether I feel it or not sometimes. I have good basic principles, practices that I'm not after the immediate gain. I might get that, but if I actually put these systems and processes in place with regard in this conversation to diet or what you eat and your attitude towards it, then the results will then be there. And I think also, I love what you said before, because I know many people have told me that before. I was like, oh, I'm going on a diet and I even put on weight. It's kind of like, because you've been too responsive, too reactive, you know, and that's right. If you're going to starve me, you do that to anyone, you go, I'm going to start hiding some food, right? So your body then starts hiding a bit of extra, going, oh my gosh, that was painful. And so I absolutely love the sensibility of these principles. That's right, slow and steady does win the race. It's just discipline, it's every day, but it's actually thinking about why you're wanting that. So once again, not just about the looks, but you will have fresher skin, you will have more energy, you will have better stress levels. You'll just be able to focus and achieve what you're wanting to achieve in life. Plus, at the same time, reducing those long-term risks of heart disease and stroke and diabetes and other things that we don't want to then be reacting to. Then we actually want to hopefully put principles in place that we don't have to suffer in that way. So how do people find you, and how will they get a copy of your book for free on the 9th of July?
So they can find me through my website, is marianacadore.com, Instagram, Mariana_Cadore, LinkedIn, and there we go, we'll be on the notes. The book is an Amazon Kindle version, Audible version, paperback, there's everything, just grab it. On the 19th of July, I will open for free the book because I'm launching and, I'm celebrating. So I want you guys to celebrate with me. Just grab your copy. Will be for free, and Amazon super easy. Just go there and claim.
Fantastic, everybody. So all of those details will be on my podcast platform, on YouTube, on Anchor, on all of its distribution channels. Definitely take advantage of that. You can get this book on ebook copy on the 9th of July for free. There'll also be a link that you can register for that I'll put up on my platform. It's just great. It's so balanced. It comes from, Mariana, who is, an ex-athlete. She's lived and studied this for 19 years. She's got fantastic principles in this book that I know will definitely help you. And I just love the sensibility of it, how planned and organized it is, and actually thinking from that higher level of just good old-fashioned health and wellness and vitality, rather than sort of urgent bad things that generally just make you hate them eventually after you've done them. And also they do more damage, because then you then go, oh, I don't want to do that again. And so you put up with things longer and longer and longer, when you can quickly just adjust and monitor if you're acting in a different way. Thank you so much for being on my show today. I've really enjoyed our conversation. And I wish you all the best for your launch. We're both launching books at the same time. I've got a book called Twins, Double Trouble, Double Treat, coming out on the 15th of July. So it's going to be book week for us. So look out for those books, everybody. Of course, you can always find me at the Women's Business Tribe, the Women's Business Incubator. If you're wanting any advice, any coaching on all things women in business, definitely send me a message via any of my platforms. I would love to share with you, welcome you aboard, and I'm sure you're all joining me in thanking Mariana Cadore for sharing with us today.